Hello, hello, hello. My name is Jason Allen. I am a realtor based in Palm Springs, California. And every Monday, I do my best to bring you a market update. Typically, I focus on one of the four cities that I do most of my business in. Today, it's Rancho Mirage. And if you give me just a moment, I'll bring up the charts that I like to use. For those of you that are new to the channel, let me just say briefly that the two associations in the desert, California Desert Association of Realtors and Greater Palm Springs Association of Realtors, gets together on a monthly basis, crunches all our data. The report usually comes out the second week or first week of the month. And what I do is I focus on the four cities that I do most of my business in with these reports. And then sometimes I'll do a whole valley combined report. Today I'm focused on Rancho Mirage, which is just to the southeast of us. Cathedral City sandwiched in between. Then I focus on Palm Desert as well. And Rancho Mirage is a bit of an upscale community, not known for a downtown the way Palm Springs is, or even Cathedral City. And then you get into Palm Desert, and you've got El Paseo right there, so a little bit of the downtown community. Overall, in Coachella Valley, we are down in overall sales. So here's our baseline normal. You can see at the height of COVID, we were significantly above our normal. Now we're significantly below. This is a buy opportunity. This is the stock market bottoming out, and hopefully you have some cash to pour into it because it will come back. Now, are we going to ever see this again? Not likely. Well, at least not in my lifetime. I mean, it could happen, I guess, but not likely. The Desert Housing Report, I will make available by link in the comments below so you can read how they come up with this information. And then I'm going to dive into, again, looking at the whole Coachella Valley. We look at sort of two segments. One is the detached, one is the attached. We look at median and we look at average. Median is the price right in the middle, the number right in the middle. So half was above, half was below. And then for average, we look at the total number, aggregate them, divide by the total number, and you get your average. Neither the median nor the average should be used universally. In other words, we're selling real estate. And even if it's a cookie cutter house in a cookie cutter development, there's something unique about that house, its condition, its specific location. And so you're going to have variables across the board. But these two numbers, median and average, and then applying them to the same criteria, in other words, detached versus attached, allows us to see trends. And if we look at the median detached here, very quickly, you see we have a history of peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. But the trend going back 20 years is upward. So even in the last 3 years, you can see up, down, up, down, up, down. And this most recent up in the median was in January of 24. So are we going to go and take this number, go all the way? No, 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 no. Some horrific crisis would have to occur for that to be the case. And I don't know. I mean, yes, it could happen, but that's not the trend. That's not the trend. Even if we look back here in '09 and 10, we are significantly above that. Oh, I'll get off my high horse. It's always is a time to buy real estate. I mean, within reason. And then this is the attached median. Also down, but you can see up and down, up and down, up and down, but the trajectory is up. And we are, if you look here, we are significantly above what it was pre-crash, pre-Great Recession. So I'm always bullish on real estate. And now we get into averages. And again, to sort of normalize things and look at things over time, you can see that for a detached house in Rancho Mirage, and they look at the lowest point of 11 and 12, you can see that we're still 175% above that. Current average, here's your size, 3,200 square feet, price per square foot, and the price of the average home in Rancho Mirage. Average detached. That's a single family dwelling. Could be in a gated community, could be not in a gated community, meaning an HOA versus not an HOA. Could be lease land, could be fee simple land. A lot of Rancho Mirage is fee simple land. That's land you own. Prices tend to be higher as a result. And then if we look at the attached, like your condominiums, townhomes, that sort of thing, and you can see at present, it's off about 10%, but still 162% over its low water mark in 11 and 12. So average size for that condominium townhouse, almost 1,800 square feet, price per square foot, whole price of 553, 711. Again, that's down compared to a year ago. So buy opportunity, right? It's an opportunity to get it at a discount. And for those of you that did buy a year ago, is this so bad? I mean, 10% is not 50%. Your value will come back. And we're talking about averages. If you happen to buy the particular house with the fantastic view, you're going to be above the average. And if you bought the house that's a fixer, well, you're going to invest in it and it's going to look better and sell for more. So, and I'm always available to have those conversations with you either on the front end before you buy. That's my job. If you use someone else to buy and you now want to sell, we can have a conversation. And sometimes, and you could poll my clients. I won't say I talk people out of selling their house because I can't really talk someone into selling or buying a house. I can present the information and together we can agree today may not be the time to sell your house. If there's some external reason and you have to take your lumps, the question is, are you selling and then buying right away to get the house that you do want, which means you're probably buying that at a discount? A little bit like when, it's rolling around to the end of the year and you want to capture losses with stock. You sell that stock and then you would immediately buy a replacement stock. So you get to take the loss on your taxes. We can't do that in real estate, but you get to take that loss and then you're still in the market so that as the values go up, you benefit from that. All right. This is the total sales. Again, it's just reflecting that it is down across the board. And this is detached total sales. Again, we use a 3-month rolling average here to basically mitigate huge swings in the market. But we do it consistently. So you can see it's not as if 1 month, we're just looking at 1 month, but consistently. And you can see generally there's been this trend of sales evening off. Likewise here, the total sales are down on a monthly basis. Make of it what you will. I don't see this as a wholesale bottoming out of the market. I haven't seen that in a very, very long time. I did start my career in 07. And so I have gone through the period where we watched things continue to fall. And then it wasn't until we were past that lots of people started to rush in to get a piece of the action. Sales information like this is always rear view mirror oriented. We can only anticipate what's going to happen based on the pattern of the past. But for example, COVID, no one saw our prices doubling. No one saw that. Home sales averages by city. Again, it's a 3-month rolling average. You can see Rancho Mirage is where we're focused today. We have had fewer sales. It's not, if you look at all across the board, everything is a little bit lower, except for Bermuda Dunes, which is only slightly lower, but there's also not a lot of inventory there. But we're still selling houses. That's the bottom line. We are still seeing people move here and buy homes. And then if we look at price bracket, you can see what's most competitive. So in the 6 to 700,000, no change. 7 to 8, slight change. And in the 8 to 9, we actually see an increase. So when we talk about averages, remember, in order to get where we are on these lower prices up here and where it's down, it means that some things are selling for significantly more. And perhaps some things are selling for significantly less to bring this down, overall down. But now when we look at by price bracket, we begin to see, oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's a bit competitive in here. And we do see that. I mentioned this last week when I did this. I had a listing recently, three offers in the first weekend. Boom. It was in that sweet spot between the 7 and 800,000 that it was in Palm Springs, but you get the idea that there is competition in certain price points. Um, and then dollar sales, just again, it's off, fewer dollar sales overall. I'm going to say something about that very quickly. As you see overall sales volume shrink, what you're going to see, and we are seeing, are a number of part-time agents drop out of the business. So my advice as you're looking for an agent who's either going to list your home or help you buy a home, ask them when their last sale was. Ask them when their last closing was. We call it closing or transaction. You want to be involved with someone that's got a current sale or current sales. Here's why. Our industry is changing rapidly. And you want someone who's going to understand and be dialed into a brokerage that is providing them with accurate information, up-to-date information about the market, as well as about the process. The last thing you want to do is hire someone who's like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure. Or, I mean, I don't have anything against someone that has to look something up, but I also want someone that is dialed in. And, it's like a mechanic. You're going to work on my car. Do you know the latest and greatest about a particular car? I have a new car. I don't want you to be looking everything up. Inventory by price bracket, you can see we're, for the most part, up across the board. Over here in the 2 million, we've seen it decrease a bit. We've also seen the highest end, and remember, 2 million and above, we've seen that market take a bit of a hit. Prices are off. Inventory is down as a result. Those are generally folks that don't need to sell immediately for any particular reason. And then our months of sale ratio is up. Now, this is a valley-wide statistic. And then if we go into by city, you can see where we have bumped this up considerably over last year for Rancho Mirage. Now, we say that a 6-month inventory is a balanced market. That means that neither the buyer nor the seller has an undue amount of leverage in the marketplace. When COVID prices were driving everything up, we had such low inventory that sellers basically got to call all the shots. What does that mean today? First of all, it means that as a seller, you're going to be on the market longer. Second of all, it means you're going to have to compromise on some things. Unless you've so grossly underpriced your property that you get to call the shots, but that's kind of not the point, right? The point is to get you as much money as you can, as quickly as you can, or at least on your timeline with the fewest number of hassles. And then buyers, by the same token, you will have more power, but your power is going to be limited to, as I'll show you on a chart in just a moment, whether you buy it or not, whether the seller fixes this or not. It doesn't mean you get to come in and offer them 25% off the top. Sellers aren't that desperate. And there's no reason to. I mean, if the seller can wait, then great. And as a buyer, keep in mind that if a seller were to entertain 25%, I'm making a number off, 20% off of a price, why would they just sell it to you? Why not lower the price on the property to that point, advertise it, and then have multiple offers? So they then get to negotiate on, again, timeline, repairs, and financing. They may take a cash offer over a financed offer. So nobody gets to be completely cocky through the process. Months of sales by price bracket, you can just see, depending on where you are, what you want to spend. This is what your inventory is going to look like. And let's see, what's next? And then days on market, these are basically saying if you're going to sell a house, you're going to be on the market for 2 months. And as a buyer, 2 months does not mean the seller is ready to drop their price ridiculously or negotiate unreasonably. This is sort of the average at this point. And then days on market by price bracket. As you get to the higher end, you're going to be on the market longer and average premium discount. So this is where we say, again, it's an average, but across the valley, you're looking at 2 to 3% as a price discount. That's not 20 to 30%. So buyers have to be realistic. This also tells me that sellers have gotten realistic about what they're asking for their property. And then you can go into drill a little bit deeper and say by city. So Rancho Mirage, 3.5%, Indian Wells, 3.6%, in Palm Desert, 2.3%. And then with respect to its relationship to last year, Rancho Mirage, less than 0.5% off of what it was last year. So again, we're not seeing things disintegrate and people being unable to sell their home. And then if you get into it by price bracket, you can see here that between the 5 and 600,000, it's actually gone down a tick. I mean, not significantly, but you see sellers are realistic about their price, what they're asking, and buyers are being forced to pay close to the asking because they want the house. And sellers are not interested in simply wiping out all of their equity. And again, because we're talking about averages, 13.8% of the homes are going over the asking price. That's why these numbers are still very low. So maybe you're getting 5% in some cases. You're not getting 20. I'd be shocked if you can show me an example of 20. You might be getting 5, and then someone else might be paying 5 over, and that's how we average out into this less than 2%. And I'm making those up. I'm not doing the actual math. And then in the closing, in the report, when you get to look at it, you can read about how they collect this data, how they process it. And that's it. If I can ever be of service, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. Please give me a thumbs up. We like that. Subscribe. And I'm going to keep doing these as long as I possibly can. Have a wonderful week and take care. Bye.